I think we're good for now, but we'll have to monitor the situation closely.
Okay.
My chair is so squeaky, I think I'm going to have to change it here.
I hope we got more bits than just the squeaky chair.
That's it. Welcome to this episode of the Cool Dad Shirt Podcast. I guess it's safe to say that neither one of us won the Mega Millions last night. Is that a fair assumption?
If we had, I'd be flying you up to the studio, in our new helicopter.
Hey, do you enjoy vacuuming at all?
I do.
You do?
Well, here's the thing. Historically, I have not until I bought a Dyson.
Okay.
And now I really like it. It is battery chargeable. It is so light and portable. I vacuum so much more now that I have a high performing machine. Nope, I like it. It was always drudgery with these big old gigantic clunky things. This thing is a Ferrari of vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember some big unit that used to drag around on the floor with a bag, and then you'd plug that in and then attach the hose, which then connected to the long tube handle that actually had the vacuum head at the end of it. It was like a whole train you'd drag around the house.
Yes.
It's a really sizable unit.
Oh yeah, and it was real American steel. It was 40 something pounds, with a hose connected to it. Yeah, that was some serious machinery back then.
Nowadays they have all those. They have a lot of the robot vacuums. I think iRobot, Shark makes one. There's a bunch of other companies.
Yeah, I don't I don't employ one of those, but I know people like them. I guess if you just run that all the time, your house is probably in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think the thing just launches itself and auto senses and then goes in some sort of symmetrical pattern or continuously cleans.
Previous guest Justin, I think, was telling me about some new ones that were coming out. It kind of has it sort of maps, it sort of has a sensor, and it starts learning about your room. So it doesn't just randomly bounce and turn 32.5 degrees and go in the other direction. It starts figuring out your room. It sort of learns. That is super cool, but obviously the first step before they take over the world and kill us in our sleep.
Yeah.
It's going to start with the vacuum cleaners.
There are some downsides to the robotic vacuum cleaners, I think, displayed in this next example. My niece and nephew, they were out a couple weeks ago, and apparently their dog had not been feeling well and was on some antibiotics. So in the short time that they were gone, the dog proceeded to have multiple accidents throughout the kitchen.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
And neglected to turn off their automatic vacuum cleaner. So in their absence, the vacuum cleaner kicked on and proceeded to vacuum the entire house, making multiple passes through the dog poop and continually smearing it through the entire house.
Oh, you know what?
So not only did it make one pass, it made multiple passes through the dog poop, dragging it everywhere through the whole house.
I didn't think of it. I just, in my head, I visualized the problem of it running it over and the mess and stuff like that. I didn't realize it would just keep going and spread it continuously as a film across every surface in the rest of the house. Yeah, that's much worse.
My nephew walked in and said to my niece, he said, Carissa, pack your bags, we're moving.
You got to call one of those places that come in after there's been a fire or something that just completely redo your house.
Yeah, a restoration company.
Exactly.
He said it was horrific. It was really bad.
Yeah, I bet.
I just realized I forgot my coffee upstairs. Can we take a brief pause here?
Of course we can.
Yeah, right, hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. Nice, Rich. I never thought about incorporating live music.
I'm back.
All right. We should consider doing a live music show. Having a musical guest in? Why is this not occurred to us?
Wait a second. Season 2.
Season 2. We deliberately make a conscious effort not to talk too much about music. And it has never occurred to us once. about incorporating a musical related guest into the show.
We could have bumper music going in and out.
Just a light performance. I mean, all we got to do is just plug in a channel or two.
Yeah.
Why has that never occurred to us?
Overhead condenser mic for some background stuff. All right, we'll get on that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that was it for my vacuum story. But I do enjoy vacuuming. I don't know. There's something very satisfying about it.
Yep.
After that initial pass, just seeing it go from dirty and gravelly to super clean, it's very, very rewarding.
It's not even like a serious scrub job of the carpeting either. It's just a good vacuuming makes a big difference.
Very impactful visually.
I was out driving in the snow this morning. It's late March here in upstate New York, and after a week in the 60s, we're back to a snowstorm. As I was driving home, I had a morning show on. This guy's been on for a million years on WGY, Joe Gallagher. He's very, very funny. And I got thinking, I have no idea what this guy looks like, even though I've listened to him for years. And then I got thinking, there's people listening to this podcast right now who have no idea what we look like. Now, the natural assumption, based on the timbre of our voice and the richness of the way we speak, that we are tall, dark, and handsome. But I got to tell you, now, Mike, I don't know when you go to the newly remodeled grocery store, if you get stopped there sometimes like I do, it's kind of, hey, my husband's over in the meat department. Can I just grab a quick selfie with you? You are way better looking in person than I expected. And so, we do the selfie real quick because, we're good celebrities.
You must oblige your fans.
Exactly. I thought about that the whole ride home.
It is very true. I usually allow an extra hour for all my shopping time just to accommodate for such encounters. My husband's in the meat department. Oh man, he's sizing up a nice flank steak right now.
We're gonna have a great dinner, but seriously, can I get a picture of you?
Can I get a photo? I heard a story. I don't know who it was, but it was the wife of a very famous guitar player. She would constantly be asked to take pictures from a fan with her husband. And it was back in the day before we had digital cameras. So you couldn't really see the picture until you developed it. So what she would do is she would take the camera for the fan. The fan would go stand next to her husband. And she would take a picture of their feet and then, smile and hand the camera back to them. And they would never know until they got the film back from being developed.
That is a lot of fun. I remember the day I graduated from college, my friend Paul, I remember, again, this was 1990. It was all film back then. I remember I said, hey, I'm going to go hit the bathroom before we go in. I had him hold my camera. Same thing, dude. 2 weeks later, I'm going through the pictures of, senior year of college, all this stuff like that. And there's these picture of all these girls. He just turned around and said, can I get a picture of you? Can I get a picture of you? And it blew my mind when you first see that, you can't process, this makes absolutely no sense. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what Paul does. So it was very funny. Along the same lines, did we talk about this already? Over Christmas time, I was hanging out at a local pub, and there was a company there celebrating Christmas time or whatever. And a woman comes over and said, hey, can you get a picture of us? When she handed me the camera, it was turned back toward a selfie. So when I held the camera up, I was looking at myself. So I took 4 photos of myself, and then I flipped the camera and took pictures of them. So same thing. Later, she's going home and sees my stupid face on her phone.
Yeah, I enjoy doing something similar at weddings. Occasionally, they'll have some disposable cameras on the table, encouraging you to take photos. Same thing. I would take all selfies and funny photos of myself and family.
There was remember Fred Willard? I think he recently passed away. He was a comedian. He was in a bunch of the Christopher Guest series of movies and stuff like that. He was very funny. He released a book about celebrity photos. And so his whole shtick, and I think he actually published it. I don't know if it was a bit, but I think it might actually be published, where he would, when he encountered celebrities, he would have the celebrity take a picture of him. So the book was just full of pictures of just him. But he's like, well, Sean Penn took this picture of me. Tom Hanks took this picture of me. And so the whole bit was celebrities photographing him. I thought that was brilliant.
Do we think celebrities really photographed him?
I have no idea, but the bit was hysterical.
What a shtick though, right?
Yeah.
Like this celebrity took a picture of me. Who could claim otherwise?
Which is so great.
Which is so great. I mean, how can you prove that? Similarly, I used to enjoy changing people's outgoing answering machine messages back in
Oh,
the day
come
when
on.
it was a tape.
When they weren't around.
When they weren't around, if there was an opportunity and the machine was there, I would never say anything offensive, but I would always take great pleasure in changing the outgoing message and just waiting to hear back from them when they finally discovered that it was me.
Well, it'd always take like another, because you would never know. Another person would have to say, "What's up with your voice message?" Right?
I hate to pause the flow here. Hold on one second, Rich.
Should I pick up a guitar?
Maybe so, yeah. Cue in the music.
You are listening to the Cool Dad Shirt podcast with Rich and Mike.
Hey, I am back. I am sorry to kill the momentum of the show.
No. Are you good?
Yeah, Nancy was out and was having some bank card issues.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this happens to you, but we have the cards with the chips, and it's happened to me a few times where I've gone to pay and I've used the chip, and then the chip doesn't work, and then when you go to swipe it at that point sort of locks out your account and doesn't work. It's happened to me more than once. It just happened to her for the second time at the same location a few months apart.
I've gotten to the point now where I just do the tap from the card. I know people do things on their phone. I should probably get around to that too. But the tap with the card is super great. I've become so accustomed to that. I actually get a little angry when people's machine
Insert?
don't accept the tap. Insert? What the hell is this, 2023?
Who's got time for that? That's 8 seconds. Who's got time for 8 seconds?
Goes in. We have to wait. Don't remove card. Like your hand is hovering there. Can I take it now? Can I take it now? No, don't take it now.
Enter your PIN or press enter for credit.
That's right. What is happening?
What year is this? 2023. That's great. I enjoy the chip. I just noticed that quite often there's an issue, and I don't know where the issue is, if it's on the bank side or the POS side. I have problems with it regularly, which she just did.
One thing I notice whenever I do that, sometimes it's just like a thumbprint on there. If I immediately pull it out and I just rub it on my jeans really quickly, sometimes I think the connectivity to the little metal chip there doesn't go through. And I would say 99% of the time that bounces right back when I'm forced to put the chip in. Jeez.
So what you're saying is you take your card, you rub your black shirt against it to clean it, and then you retap.
No. The order is I tap it. It doesn't go through. The woman says, "Oh, we don't have tap." I try to tap it again. She's like, "Seriously, we don't have tap. You have to put it in."
Sir, I'm sorry.
I start to make a scene. I roll my eyes. I start, do you know who I am? I start pulling that stuff.
It's funny. Remember a long time ago, if you paid by credit card, they used to have to take that big clunky thing out with the suction cups on it. When I worked at a paint store in high school, people would come in. I would get so annoyed if they would say they were paying by credit. I would have to take. It was a big metal thing with 4 giant suction cups on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Not only do I know what you're talking about, I have a great mechanic. I love my mechanic. He's in Schenectady. Mark is amazing. I love going to him, but he really, really does not want to do credit. He does not want to pay the merchant fee, all that stuff like that. He always wants you to pay by check. So I remember when I first started going to him, I think I was unaware. I got the recommendation from my buddy Jay, and I just pulled out my credit card, and he's like, "Oh, we're doing that." I was like, "Oh, I don't I don't have this money on me." He's like, "Well, you can get me a check." I'm like, "Well, can I just pay with credit card?" He goes through this whole thing, and he goes down underneath the counter and he'll like move stuff around. He comes
searching. There's an old sneaker, two sweatshirts in the lost and found,
some oily rags in the back. It's a fire hazard. He pulls this thing up.
That's where everyone stores them. The same storage container. I think it's provided by the merchant company.
Yeah, and I think it's circa 1973. It's got like a brass nameplate on it. He pulls it up, he like tries to dust it off, and he turns it into a huge dramatic event. Same thing. He's trying to make sure all 4 suction cups are grabbing the counter. He's like, "All right, hold on." He goes, I got to go find the forms. Hang on. And he walks out of the room. I was like, okay, so I learned my lesson. Make sure you have money in the account and bring your checkbook when you get car repairs done.
Those carbon copy forms used to come in this very thin cellophane wrapper. So and there was like 200 in it. So as soon as you opened the cellophane wrapper, the wrapper would just crumble and fall apart. And now you have 200 loose carbon copy pieces of paper that you have no place to store. So now they're loose all over the bottom of the box. You'd have to select one that was in halfway decent shape, put it in there, imprint the machine, have the customer sign it. Oh, it was such an involved exercise.
I can't believe humanity used to have to live that way.
Yeah, now we've advanced to chips that don't work. So
that's right.
Such modernization. I watched a couple movies this week, and I find myself. I don't know if I would say having time, but I find myself catching a few more movies than I used to. I watched Roadhouse, the new Roadhouse, and I also watched Ricky Stenicki.
Okay, I'm not aware of either of those. How are they?
I don't know if you've seen the original Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze.
I don't think I actually saw that. No, I understand it's a classic.
It is a classic. It's
Patrick
a must
in his
see.
prime, right?
Yeah, for sure. So this was just a bit of a more modern take on it. Lots of good, lots of good bar fight scenes. Yeah, very similar to the first one, just modernized a bit. And Ricky Stenicki, and that one was pretty funny because it was three buddies, or they were about to get into trouble, so they kind of came up with this fictitious name to get them off the hook. And as they grew up, they continued to use that fictitious name just to continue on all these like little adventures. They would say that Ricky Stenicki's not doing well. We need to go visit him, and their wives would feel bad. And they'd say, oh yeah, go check on your good friend, Ricky. So it was sort of the excuse to allow them to get away with a lot of stuff.
It was the running joke over years then.
Yeah. And then, later on, I forget if one of them was getting married or something happened, but they kind of got called out on it. And that's kind of where they connect with John Cena, and they pay him to become Ricky Stenicki. So it was
they have to produce one. Oh, so they create one. Oh, that's brilliant. Funny comedy though.
Yeah, it was a funny movie. Yeah, John Cena was great in it. It was nice, easy little movie to watch.
I'll make a note of that.
I had a note about a tip of the week, and I can't remember what the tip of the week was. It might have been revolved, or it might have had something to do with the vacuum cleaner bit, which I've already passed. So at this point,
was the tip of the week? Be sure to write these down.
Yeah, it was absolutely. Be sure to write the details of the tip of the week down. Have you given the new Pearl Jam song a listen?
What? No, I am out of the loop. That will be done today, however, yes.
Okay. I think the album is due out mid-April. The single they released is Running.
Okay.
My quick review is that it sounds exactly like all the other Pearl Jam songs that have ever been released. So if you like Pearl Jam and like their current format and formula to write and record a song, you're going to love it. If you were hoping for something different, this is not the song for you.
Okay, that's fair.
Very much like all the other Pearl Jam songs.
Well, they got a winning formula,
It's tricky, right? You have been successful for decades, releasing numerous albums, performing at endless concerts. Do you take a risk, or do you just go with the same formula that's worked for all those decades?
That's a tough call.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one, yeah. I've decided to eliminate or skip a week of our sports news after last week.
That's probably a good plan.
But I do plan to add some sports news in the future. I will comment that March Madness has kicked off on the 18th. I know people go crazy over March Madness. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you participate in any brackets, as the fans like to refer to them as, or
I missed the brackets. No,
yeah. If you're following or rooting for your favorite colleges, no.
I always like going into work on Monday morning and just people just so flustered.
They are jazzed up about it.
Brackets gone, finished, done. One weekend, I'm out.
Yeah, it is funny.
It wasn't like, oh, I did okay.
Whether you're a sports fan or not, it's pure entertainment.
It's never like, oh, I did okay. It's like, damn it, I'm done.
And I think that's why people enjoy it so much, right? You
I
can,
think so.
it's full of surprises. I try to watch a few games here and there, and the ones that I always seem to watch are really exciting. So I certainly understand the appeal and the hype. I just find it hard to find the time to, sit down and sit through a few games. If I do have a couple minutes and one happens to be on, they really are buzzer beaters or huge upsets.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. I watch almost zero sports, but if I'm someplace where it's on, I do enjoy it. If I'm at my neighbor's house and hockey's on, I will enjoy a hockey game. If you're out after work and there's March Madness basketball on, it's hard not to enjoy the spectacle of that. So yeah, in football, Sunday football, you're making up some chili, you kind of have it on in the background. I dig all of that, but I no longer follow things or am aware of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's tough to follow up and stay so connected, at least for me.
Agreed.
I think that's all I got.
Yeah, I put a full 2.5 minutes in the car ride this morning coming up with my one contribution. So we'll take that as a win.
Let's see. Let me run through the list here.
Okay, we'll go check by check.
The iRobot vacuum dragging dog poop through the entire house. Done.
That was comedy gold right there, man.
I have 2 other topics, Rich.
Oh.
I am so glad I went to the digital list. This is exactly why. 2 things. I'm going to go on record saying that I'm going to make a conscious effort to bring the 3/4 sleeve shirt back. Okay.
All right. Put me on your team. I'm in. Yeah, let's do it.
I am bringing, the summer might be a little tricky, but around August, entering the fall, I'm going to make a conservative effort to bring back the 3/4 sleeve shirt.
Okay.
It's a fantastic shirt, right?
It was such an interesting thing for a period of time. And despite many things that come back, that's one thing that did not come back. And so it sounds like you're going to be the leader on this one.
Yep. I'm going to spearhead that movement. I'm going to spearhead that movement. I got to just find some place where I can buy some.
Congratulations. You're an influencer.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know if I should right now because I wanted to do a little more homework on this. Somewhere on social media, I saw someone demonstrating and explaining how they clean their guitar pedals.
Oh.
This individual was explaining how they take the entire pedal apart and wash it, and they were washing it with water. Taking it apart, they wouldn't touch anything. They would use a very soft bristle brush, and they would gently scrub all the components with water and then leave it opened up on the counter or a towel to dry out completely before reassembling.
They'd put it in a bag of rice and let it sit overnight to dry.
Not even rice. They were like taking it apart and cleaning it with water. Intuitively, you would think water and electronics do not mix. Have you heard of this?
No, every electronics cleaning endeavor is isopropyl alcohol because it's got a cleaning agent and it evaporates instantly. So there's never moisture ever in there. So that seems crazy to me. I will tell you, in my experience, I'm not a big center of attention. I was always kind of off to the side, so my pedals fared pretty well. But I will tell you, Andy, who was in the center singing and playing guitar, the biggest threat we had, and it was typically in Saratoga, were bachelorette parties and drunk bridesmaids accidentally pouring sugary drinks all over the front of the stage. He's had to clean his pedals, I think, on numerous occasions to get the sticky pink drinks off. Oh, what a mess.
Do you know how he cleans them?
I'll have to follow up. He probably just wiped the outside. I don't know anybody who's gone in. Good Lord, what has to happen that you have to go inside an electronics enclosure? But I think he generally just wiped it down.
And I think some of the newer pedals are probably more plastic and sealed a little bit better. I think in this example, they were some of the larger, bigger metal pedals. Not metal as in genre, metal as in
yes,
materials.
Steel construction, yeah.
Well, some good certified steel construction.
They're called stop boxes for a reason. Yeah. The things are indestructible. I mean, you can pound on them. I wouldn't say they're waterproof, but they're certainly designed to take a beating.
That would be a good follow-up.
Yeah, well, we can find out. Sure.
I'll make a note. Not only in between bringing back the 3/4 sleeve, I will do some further research on the cleaning, the proper cleaning of the guitar pedal.
Well, on the used market, like everything else vintage, a beat up pedal gets extra street cred. You throw that up as you're selling a used pedal. A little beat up goes a long way.
Yeah, they like that.
Yeah, because guitar players are crazy.
They like some road scars.
It's like authenticity or something. They're tone marks. I sound better.
It's like the guitars you were talking about, the pre-aged ones.
Yeah. If you relic it, it gives it more street cred, even though you're a complete poser. No, we already talked about this. There is a comfort level that comes with a worn-in guitar, even if it was done artificially.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I know we already spoke about movies. I don't think you watch a lot of TV shows. If you do, please jump in, but otherwise I'll keep going. I'll take that. I'll take that. I mean, listen, there's two of us. Rich, it's a show. There's two of us. I'm counting on some comments.
I thought you were going to start.
Listen, you've already said you haven't done a lot of homework for the show. You only spent 2.5 minutes on the way home thinking about topics.
My one bit.
And now you've gone silent on me.
I thought you were going to start listing off shows you wanted to talk about.
I'm happy to carry the show, Rich, but I need some support.
At least nod your head, man. Come on.
Do something.
No, I am sorry. I thought you were going to launch into some shows you like, and I was going to comment on those.
Well, good professionals pause and allow for a break so their co-hosts can jump in with some witty comments.
Have we just met? That's not really what I do.
Oh, man. Anyway, my wife watches a ton of those shows,
Okay.
all the Law and Orders, the whatever they are. The one that I love the most, and I always get a kick out of it, is the Law and Order with Ice Cube on it. And every line of Ice Cube, like they're investigating something, and Ice Cube always comes on and he's like, yeah, we're going to crack down on them perps. or he'll say something like, it's the end of the road for that guy. That's the whole show. That's all his acting.
That's it. He's not really known for acting range.
They hand him the script. It's like one page. All the other actors have like 42 pages they got to memorize.
Ice Cube he's got three catchphrases.
Yeah. They're like, Ice-T, what do you think about the script? He's like, I got this. Looks good to me.
Ice-T or Ice Cube?
Oh, man. Ice Cube. Did I say
Ice
Ice-T?
Cube, okay.
Ice Cube. No, wait. It's Ice-T. How many times have I said Ice Cube?
You could awkwardly go re-edit that back.
It is Ice-T. Ice-T.
Okay.
Did I say Ice Cube? I can't wait to go back and listen to this.
I think we started this section with Ice Cube.
Son of a gun. Another bit destroyed.
We're on a rampage this morning.
Son of a gun.
You want to start the bit over?
No, it won't be nearly as funny. It might be more funny that I don't know if it's Ice Cube or Ice-T. But I know his only line in the whole show is, that's the end of the line for that perp.
Michael, I don't think you're even paying attention.
But that's all I got, Rich. I am
Okay.
fully out of ideas.
We should probably call it here.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to put an end to this confusion, and I guess we'll call it a day.
It was a blast. Nope, good stuff. How many shenanigans do you give this one?
Yeah, this was a 7 out of 5 shenanigans this episode.
Love it.
All right, dude. I will catch
Sounds
up with you
good.
later.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Bye.
Go on, smash that like button.